Imagine standing on a quiet street in the late 1950s or early 1960s. The air smells faintly of gasoline and ambition. Then you hear it before you see it. A smooth, confident rumble, not loud, not aggressive, just calm and powerful. And then it rolls into view. The Cadillac DeVille. This wasn't just a car, this was a statement. Owning a DeVille meant you had arrived, not because you were shouting it, but because you didn't need to. The Cadillac DeVille first appeared in 1949 as a trim level, but very quickly it grew into its own identity. By the 1950s and 60s, the DeVille became the symbol of American luxury. While other cars were trying to prove themselves, the DeVille already knew who it was. Long, wide, low, and dripping with confidence. It was built for people who wanted comfort, presence, and a feeling of importance every time they turned the key. Let's talk about the design, because honestly, this is where the DeVille instantly wins hearts. The body is massive, unapologetically so. This car does not try to be subtle. The chrome is generous, the lines are elegant, and in certain years, especially the late 50s, the tail fins look like they belong on a jet rather than a car. But here's the thing, it never looks ugly. It looks proud, like a well-dressed gentleman in a tailored suit who knows everyone in the room is already watching. Walk around a classic DeVille and you notice how long it is. Parking one of these back in the day was not a casual task. It was an event. But that length wasn't just for show, it translated directly into space and comfort inside. Cadillac believed luxury meant never feeling cramped, and the DeVille proves that philosophy perfectly. Open the door and step inside, and suddenly the outside world feels far away. The seats are wide, soft, and inviting, almost like a living room sofa. This is the kind of car where you don't sit. In the seat, you sink into it. Whether it's leather or plush cloth, everything is designed to make you relax. The dashboard is simple but elegant, with clear gauges, tasteful chrome accents, and a layout that feels calm rather than busy. Here's a human example. Imagine a long road trip with your family in the 1960s. Dad driving, one hand on the wheel, mom in the passenger seat, kids stretched out in the back with more than enough legroom. No one is complaining about comfort. No one feels tired. The DeVille wasn't built for speed runs or tight corners. It was built to make long journeys feel short. Under the hood, the Cadillac DeVille was powered by big V8 engines, and I mean big in the true American sense. These engines weren't about racing, they were about effortless power. You press the accelerator and the car moves forward smoothly, confidently, without stress. There's no drama, no urgency. It's like the car is saying, relax, I've got this. Driving a DeVille feels different from modern cars. The steering is light, the suspension is soft, and the ride feels like you're floating over the road. You don't feel every bump, you glide. Some people might say it's not sporty, and they're right. But that was never the goal. Cadillac wasn't chasing sports cars. Cadillac was chasing comfort and dignity. Another thing that made the DeVille special was how advanced it felt for its time. Power windows, power seats, air conditioning, automatic transmission. Features that were luxuries back then came standard or optional in the DeVille. This was a car that treated convenience as a right, not a bonus. For many owners, this was their first experience with true automotive luxury. Think about pulling up to a hotel or a formal event in a Cadillac DeVille. People noticed, not because it was flashy in a cheap way, but because it carried authority. It was the kind of car driven by successful business owners, celebrities, politicians, and anyone who wanted to be taken seriously. The moment they arrived, as the years went on, the DeVille evolved. The 1970s models became even larger, even more comfortable. The 1980s brought a more squared-off, formal look. And while the automotive world was changing, the DeVille remained loyal to its core idea, luxury first. Even when downsizing began in later decades, the DeVille still felt like a Cadillac. Now let's be honest, owning a classic Cadillac DeVille today is not about fuel efficiency or modern tech. It's about emotion. It's about turning the key and feeling connected to a time when cars had personality, when size mattered, and when comfort was king. It's about cruising, not rushing. Imagine driving one today. You're not in a hurry. You're enjoying the ride. People look, some smile, some point, and you feel a quiet pride, like you're preserving a piece of history. The DeVille doesn't beg for attention, but it always gets it. In the end, the Cadillac DeVille is more than metal, chrome and leather. It represents an era when America believed in big dreams, big cars and big comfort. It's a reminder that sometimes luxury isn't about screens and sensors, but about how a car makes you feel, and the DeVille makes you feel important, relaxed and timeless. That's why decades later, it's still remembered, respected and loved.